Today we're going to talk about a really special holiday that children celebrate in Japan. In Japan, they have a really cool holiday called Children's Day. It's also called Kodomi no Hi. On Children's Day, children celebrate by doing all sorts of fun activities, but one of the cool things that they make are these little kites that look like fish. They're carp fish, and they're called Kionobori fish. Kionobori fish. And you can see this young man here is really enjoying his Children's Day celebration, and he has a stick with a kite on the end or a windsock in the shape of a carp fish. He's made himself a Kionobori fish. In Japan on Children's Day, children make their Kionobori fish and they decorate the whole town with Kionobori fish flying overhead. Kionobori fish are hollow on the inside, and so when you hang them on a flagpole, the air or the wind goes through the middle of the body and makes them look like they're swimming. Look at these beautiful tails, and look at the colorful scales on these Kionobori fish. I really like their big eyes. What do you like about Kionobori fish? For our project, I thought you might enjoy celebrating Children's Day in studio. So we're going to be creating our own Kionobori fish in person together with me, and also for those of you online. So let's go ahead and get started. To make your own Kionobori fish, if you're in the classroom with me, you're going to get a long piece of paper that looks like this. If you're at home, any sort of piece of paper will work. This is a piece of computer paper from my printer, but you're going to want to cut it so that it's a long rectangle. Just like that. With your long piece of paper, this is going to be the body of our Kionobori fish. We're going to have an eyeball or two eyeballs on one side and scales through the middle. These Kionobori fish have tails connected to them like this, but we're going to put ours on there at the end by adding streamers. You guys are really going to like it. For our first day together working on our Kionobori fish, we want our project to look like this at the end of the day. We have two eyes for our Kionobori fish on one end, and we've got scales all the way to the end. Remember, we're going to create our tail by using streamers. When we're done, you might think your fish looks like he got run over and flattened, because he doesn't look very round yet. But eventually, we'll be curling our Kionobori fish together like this to make a fish shape and adding our streamers for the tail. So let's get started. The eyes of the Kionobori fish are big and bold. They come in lots of different shapes. I'm going to show you one way to do Kionobori fish eyes, but you can feel free to do yours however you like. On one end of your long piece of paper, we're going to draw two big eyes. Now, since we're going to curl our paper together in the end, you don't want to go too close to either end. Later, I'm going to color in these two parts to make them black. If you want to add eyelashes or any decorations to the eyes, or maybe your Kionobori fish is wearing glasses or he has one eye winking, you can decorate his eyes however you like. We can finish that later. Now we're going to work on adding the scales to our Kionobori fish. And you can see that Kionobori fish have such colorful, beautiful scales, and their scales are in the shape of the letter U. So we're going to start by making our first row of scales by putting a little U right in between his eyes, and it's going to look like the cutest little smiley face. Now I'm going to continue to add letter U's, and they're all going to be connected all the way across, just like this. Now he looks like a silly monster with some teeth. And keep going all the way until the U runs off the side of the page. That's going to be your first row of scales. If you need to pause and get caught up, you can do that. Now we're going to continue this pattern all the way down to the end, but it's important to note that the scales don't go right underneath each other. They're actually staggered. So one of the ways that I like to do this is to flip my paper upside down so that these look like little hills or mountains. And I'm going to take my pencil like a little bunny, and I'm going to hop it from hill to hill to hill, and the bunny likes to hop onto the highest part of each hill. And the bunny's just gonna hop right off the side of the page when you get to the end. So he's gonna go from hilltop to hilltop to hilltop to hilltop. You can make your scales as big or as small or as long or short as you want, because this is your Kionobori fish and yours shouldn't look like anybody else's. It should be yours. Boy, is my hand tired, but it looks like my Kionobori fish scales are all the way from his eyes to his tail. So this is how far we're gonna get on Monday on our first day together in studio. Tomorrow, we're gonna talk about how to color in our scales in a really beautiful way. I'll see you then. Bye.